Hello everyone, good day, how are you doing today? I hope you're having a good day, and today on Path of Exile, we will be playing Act 10, as last time we were pooped out of the bellies of the beasts. And now having arrived in Act 10, we're back in Oriath.
Once more, you owe me, for letting you sail around on me ship. But that's okay, I'm the kind of gal who can play the long game. Sometime in the future, I'll be in need of your services once more. You can pay me back then. All right, come on.
Sure, of course we can.
Lives to save, gods to kill. Better get to it.
Yes, let us get to it. Lily brought us here, of course. What does she have to say about Ben?
If you ask me. Even after the beating is taken. Bulging muscles, pretty yellow hair. I'd be willing to bet the barrel of his piece is longer than a ship's mast as well. If you be understanding me drift. It's a shame, in all honesty.
I wonder if Witchy does understand her drift.
Though even that ain't so bad. Lily Roth loves herself a challenge.
Ah, a challenge. Alrighty then.
Not much I can say about that raving monster. While he still breathes, it fares ill for all of us. There ain't no amount of emotion we can put between us and him that Kitava won't see as simply an extra jug of wine in his cup. Time and tide with no man.
So Lily did bring us here to Act 10 when she found us off the side of the beast.
Oriath. Smell that fresh land lubber air. Ain't nothing like the air in Theopolis, full of debauchery and pollution, hidden neath the garb of them holy templars. Seems the place has changed a fair bit since last I were here. A lot more blood and entrails than what I remember. Well, best Lily and I stay here, where it be safe. You journey on ahead, matey, and see what blimey buggers you get to kill next.
Ah, yes, of course. Let's see what I get to kill next.
For a new cutlass or anything, recently unlocked the Black Crest's old armory. Found a whole shack of weaponry down there from another time. If you fancy it, be glad to show you my stock. See if there's anything in there you'd like to pick up.
Ah, yes. Well, now, today, Waylam Roth is the weapon vendor in Oriath.
There's a woman who can hold her own. Oh, hey, look at her. A marvelous specimen of the female persuasion. Reminds me of Meredith, me long-lost sweetheart. Oh, would it be that I could have a woman like that at my side once more? Someone to stare out over the bow into the salt spray of the sea with. Someone to warm the cockles of me heart. And a few other things in my bed at night. Oh, now that'd be the dream.
Horny old man.
Lousy, good-for-nothing blackguard. In all the years at sea, never have I ever serviced a filthy blackguard on my lovely ship. If the Brine King still drew breath, I tell you, having this bannon aboard would be an affront to the Lord of Salt and Scale. Him and his kind have hung, thrown, and courted too many of ours. I don't reckon.
That's too bad.
Not at all.
Yeah, it's understandable.
Me thinks
and your granddaughter
is fixing to have her way with that damn blackguard. Well, I tell you, not if I have anything to say about it. Look at me. Never thought I'd see the day when old Waylam were to be the prudish grandfather. Yet here we are. Damn conscience will be the death of me.
If you're not already dead already. Hey, Waylam. Yeah, and Lonnie, what's happened? Why are you guys here at the docks?
A weapon to free us. The ravenous one has only grown more hungry since you left us, and I fear your efforts may be too little, too late. Kitava has all but destroyed us here, and our poor departed Utula's cultists have taken hold of the city. There's little ground left to tread that won't cause the grasping claws of Hinekora to reach out and wring our pretty little necks.
Oh, you're kidding me.
I see your eyes,
What
Exile.
happened?
You wonder why I am here instead of at the Overseer's Tower.
Yeah.
I'll tell you the horrible truth. The tower has fallen to the infernal devices of Kitava. That witch, Violenta, is to blame. She lowered a secret ladder and led Kitava's cultists right to our very beds.
Oh, that's
Bannon and I
horrible.
barely escaped with our
That traitorous
lives.
little...
Together, we cut through the hordes, but it was no use. They had us surrounded. Bannon created a distraction which allowed me to flee. When I last saw him, he was perched atop the rooftops, holding off our enemies, though how long he will last, I cannot say.
Oh,
If you are
no.
going that way, perhaps you can find him and return him to me. I have grown fond of that Templar. The fire of Namahu burns within his belly. It would not fare well for us in this war if that fire were lost.
Yeah, I don't see how we can lose Bannon.
I believe
Okay, let's start with
Valenta was
Valentia.
not of sound mind. At night, we often heard her cry out
Really?
in sleep, fearing unseen things. I wanted to toss her out on the streets, let the beasts of this fallen city tend to her madness. But Bannon refused to leave behind one of his own. Would that he had listened to me.
Oh.
Valenta thought that if she gave us up to Kitava, the ravenous one would look kindly upon her. Well, look upon her he did. But what he saw and what she became is the thing of nightmares. Her nightmares, perhaps.
Oh, no, really?
In another
Wonder
life,
why.
perhaps Lily and I would have sailed the oceans together. I enjoy her presence
Huh?
and the conversation she brings. She has a call for adventure, coupled with a kind of optimism I rarely see. I hope that once all of this settles down, we might remain friends.
Oh, yes, I'm sure you'll be
I don't
friends.
quite enjoy
Waylon.
Waylon as much as I do his granddaughter, but Lily favours him, and so I will too, unless he does something truly horrid that forces me to revoke my opinion.
That might be a backup plan because he is a revenant, apparently. I don't know why he's still
Angel on
alive.
your shoulder, perhaps. In another time, the
Sin,
presence
yes,
of
he's
this
right here.
god would trouble me, perhaps even frighten me. But in these days, I cannot afford the sensation of surprise. If he's helped you this far, as you say, then one might expect he will help you all the way to the bitter end, and that is good enough for me.
Ah, yes, the quite bitter end.
Kitava's appetite has grown
Kitava.
bigger than even his devotees had expected.
Oh, no, you're kidding me.
His hunger moves faster now than his followers can keep up. I suppose the canals were the perfect answer to their problem, really. They converted him
how?
into one giant feeding trough to bring food to his mouth at a speedier rate. Before their god rose
What
from
about
the
these
depths,
cultists?
Utula and his cultists had direction. They wished to see Kitava free to stage his horrifying banquet. I was foolish enough to believe these theological mumblings as symbols for Kadui freedom. Now that their prophecies have come to fruition, the cultists have lost their minds. It's hard
That's
enough
sad.
to believe the end times of your chosen religion will ever happen, let alone to last longer than the final pages of your holy book.
Oh, no.
For freedom.
But yeah, we have to find Bannon. He's not here in town. Divinia? Hey, Divinia's back. Yes, Divinia has been added back into the game.
It
We'll
is
talk to her in a
good
minute.
see
Let's
that you
talk to Sin really
survived, my
quick.
friend. But then, you have fared far worse. The froth of a violent ocean should be no problem for you. While we have been
Ah, yes,
absent,
quite violent.
Oriath has become a necropolis, a swarm of Kitava's wretched servants. The situation looks more dire than I had first anticipated. Before we
Oh, no,
begin,
it does, even more than
we
you
must know what
anticipated.
we are dealing with. I send you, Exile, as a scout, as the only scout that would stand a chance moving through the shifting forms of this nightmare. You must discover where Kitava resides. Only then can we issue our final blow.
Lonnie seems to think he's at the canals.
You needn't fret.
But what if the Dark
The
Ember?
Dark Ember is still safely in my possession, and will remain so until our final confrontation with Kitava. That carnivorous blasphemy will fall like a log cut from the darkest of forests, and we shall watch him burn as Oriath and the rest of this world breathes a sigh of relief.
Ah, we do need a sigh of relief.
Lily Roth is a noble...
Lily?
how do you say it? Scallywag? I have witnessed the
Yes,
rise
that
and
is how
fall
you
of
say it.
many great men and women over the eons, and Lily is well on her way to being amongst the very best of them. I suspect
that's cool.
one day her name shall be sung in salty taverns the world around.
I must
Oh, that's
remember
awesome.
to keep on her good side now that she can see me. The beautiful
Oh,
pirate princess
people can see you now?
hunting down the great god's sin would make for a fantastic tale, I'm sure. But one I would rather have remain in the pages of fiction.
Huh.
Aside from my own presence,
gods.
I no longer feel the vibrations of other gods. Though there may yet be more out there, for now, Rayclass can breathe a sigh of relief. However, we
okay.
must turn our sights to Kitava, who still gorges himself on those poor souls trapped in Oriath.
Yeah.
You have drunk your fill of my kind. The essence of deity courses through your veins, waiting to be expunged upon a chosen victim. We can only hope it will be strength enough to face that demoniac of a god.
Ooh, that's a nice word, demoniac.
Remember, humanity needs us.
Now, to explain, there is a new league. The Ancestral League, or whatever it's called, the Trial of the Ancestors. With this league came an update up to the game, which brought back the Sanctum and Divinia.
Disaster. I am Divinia.
What's wrong,
I'm the
Divinia?
archivist of the Templar Order. I've returned to Oriath to perform some critical research, but the whole city is in chaos. I've heard
Yes, it is in
people
chaos.
talking about you. Now, if you're going into that madness, I have a favor to ask of you. Most of the Templar's secret archives have probably been looted or burned by now. But there's one trove only the Master Archivist and I knew about. It's hidden within my Order's ossuary. Now, if you can,
The Ossuary.
please go there and search for a particular tome. It's called the Mortonomicon, and supposedly contains everything the Templars know about immortality. I know you're dealing with Kitava and his cultists, but this may be just as important in the long run.
Oh yeah, maybe it will be. Just as important. What do you have to say about the more
Executing
Nobby
Mortalis, as its lengthy name implies, is quite a difficult read. As a layer of extra security, it was written in the ancient language of the newcomers that were instrumental in the founding of our religion. Very few people can speak
cool.
it, let alone read it. I'm deciphering the
Ah.
language at the same time that I'm translating and researching. It's mentally taxing to the extreme, but I have no choice but to
Oh,
soldier on.
that sounds tough.
You can see him too. I thought I was hallucinating. Wait, you're working with him. Do you know who that is?
Yes.
He's the original evil. I won't have anything to do with a monster like him.
Okay, you don't have to. We'll deal with him if the
On
time
fire.
comes.
It's absolute madness. My
You're
heart
standing very
breaks
close to him,
for
though.
what they've done to my home, but I have a duty to perform. Or else a worse terror than this might descend upon the entire world.
Really? Something worse
I don't
than
know her very
Kitava?
well, but she seems very determined. I hope she survives all this.
Yes,
Have
we
you
hope
seen
so
that little
too.
black cat? I know Oriath is in chaos, but I can't help but feel my spirits lift when I see how cute and
Oh,
unafraid
there's a
it is.
cat on the ship.
Everything's gonna be all right.
Oh,
I just know it.
oh,
In
it's so
all my
cute, I like
research, and
cats.
believe me, I've done more than
Newcomers.
most. I've still never been able to figure out who the newcomers truly were. They learned our language, but theirs has been mostly lost over thousands of years. It has a completely different
Huh.
grammatical structure too, so translating it is a slow and difficult task. If only I could find that elusive shrine.
Shrine. The Shrine of the Silver
next time.
Monkey. No, I don't know what the shrine will be. But now that we're done speaking to everybody, let us return to the cathedral rooftop and travel our way back to the Oriath City. Gee, I wonder. Not only are we on a rooftop now, but this apex over here is where we fought Kitava before. Lonnie said he's moved to the canals, so I wonder if there's anything here now.
You there!
Whoa, look at these
Exile.
guys. Huh?
I am in
Bannon?
need of your services once more.
Oh, Bannon. Yes, we will help you. Plaguewing. Super Kitava's Herald, named Plaguewing. Okay, he's dead. Wasn't expecting that to go that
God for you, my
fast.
friend, if that weren't too on the nose. I felt for sure
Yeah,
that
we're
this
on the
time it
nose.
was my turn to depart our world. Kitava's cultists surrounded Lani and I a while back. We split up and I let her
surrounded.
distraction so she could make best her escape. Funny, I really should have considered my own plan for evasion once I'd allowed her hers. In any case,
Maybe, but
good to see you again, Exile. Let us talk more in a safer space. I shall meet you back at the docks.
oh yes, not a bad idea. We will see you back there later. Later. For now, let us continue on to the city proper. Now we have to walk backward across the rooftop of the cathedral to make our way back to the square. And of course, I'm just killing everything I can just because I like to. I have heard, of course, in case you're wondering, that it is not the fastest way to do things. If you're still at this point of the LP watching and you're like, my god, why is he killing everything? Because I like to kill everything. Even in Fire Emblem, I like to kill everything. At least back when I used to play Fire Emblem. I'm not so fond of the Fire Emblem as it is now. And, Conquest was an interesting one. Not Conquest, but, not just Conquest, but, what was it called? Because there was Birthright, Conquest, and Revelation. So was that one Fate? For Fire Emblem Fates? And I understand Awakening and Fates kind of brought back the series, but I didn't like Three Houses, and not that I played Three Houses, but I saw a little bit of it, and I looked up on Wikipedia about how all three heroes are basically just... they're not heroes. I don't like that. This is a video game we're talking about. We play video games to watch the heroes play the game. At least that's my standing on video game stories. At least when it comes to little stuff like that. But yeah, it is a little thing, and I'm sure most people don't mind. Like, a lot of people got really thirsty over Dimitri, and because he's a blonde, pretty blonde boy, and whatever. I did really like Fire Emblem when it first came out into the States, though. I really liked those ones. Especially number 7. It was really, really good. And I understand Echoes is kind of a... similar to 8, the Sacred Stones, in a way. It was okay. Okay looking. I didn't play it. I guess it just kind of goes to show that I kind of fell out of love with Fire Emblem, and... wow, now here we are, back in the Oriath Square, the Ravaged Square even. With this tattoo decoration still on the circle down there. Wow, it's really red in here. It's like there's a blood moon rising. Link, with the rising of the blood moon. No. I don't know if the lore of this game would actually allow for a blood moon. Because... well, maybe it would. If a separate deity from the other regions came over and took over the moon or something. It would scare the crap out of the crew because they have a moon goddess. They have like 2 moon goddesses. One's a nurse, the other one's her mother. Supposedly the son is the nurse's father. But yeah, those are just part of the pantheon of Kuri gods. Just like Tukahama and Katava. But yes, let us go back to the control blocks. I wonder, is there any reason to come here anymore? With the cultists having taken over and... the control tower. The Overseer's tower from Lonnie and Bannon. You know what, for now? We'll leave it alone. We'll just pick up that waypoint and carry on. Exploring the square. Let us do that. Because, of course, the square is very square. So it's kind of easy to get around. Oh, hello. I should probably explain some of the new monsters around here. there's these basically like gluttonous monsters that eat up dead monsters and puke at you again. When you kill them, they explode into bloody, gooey bits, dealing a little bit more damage to you, trying to. There's also these big hulking, not hulking, but gorilla-like. Another waypoint here at the, what's it called? The reliquary. But they look like they're big hulks, but they're actually made of wicker. I don't know where they're from or anything in the lore, but they're basically burning these guys right here. The Wicker Man. They walk around on... They have no legs. They walk around with their arms. Kind of like a gorilla. Or a monkey. And they deal fire damage all around them. They have a fire damage aura around them. It's kind of like they're a burning Wicker Man. There's this thing. I don't know what it is. I keep killing it too fast to find out what it is. I don't know, I don't remember what it is either. There's the doggies, there's the people. A lot of people have become desiccated, as it says, as it calls them, because they've kind of been sacrificing themselves bit by bit to Tava by draining themselves of their blood. Kind of like to season his food or whatnot, I guess. If you're into that sort of thing, I'm not. Don't promote it. Just seems to be what these monstrous people are doing here to serve their god. The doggies, of course, have become loose, taken over by kind of like coyotes. They're kind of like coyotes. Coyotes have become a really big problem over in the west, I hear. West of the States. And the back streets over here by the ossuary and the torch courts, they're still in a mess, so you still have to walk through them in a weird zigzag pattern. Oh, what's this? Katava's horns. That's weird. There seems to be a way through this wall here, but it's blocked off by some horns of Katava. I wonder how we'll be able to get through there. Maybe we need something really powerful to get through there. Never mind killing Katava himself. I bet you anything Katava's hiding back there. He's kind of made a gate for himself, kind of like Aghanim in the Watchtower. Whoa, don't slow me down, dude. I move slow enough as it is in this game. No need to slow me down some more. Oh, I walked right by it and didn't read it. There was that, thing I walked by over by the river, by the bridges. Because the one bridge has been destroyed and you have to walk across the other bridge and walk right by it to see it and read it and get over here to Katava's area and the quartz and, come on, walk. And I'm so used to walking right by it, not reading it. I'm kind of out of the LP mindset at the moment. Ooh, lots of little goodies in here. Ooh, an exalted orb. Holy crap. Whoops, wrong button. Not wrong button, but wrong keyboard. Anyways, back here into the torch courts. Now, we don't have a waypoint in here. We have a waypoint outside the ossuary. But while we're here, why don't we go all the way back to the Chamber of Innocence? Take up the waypoint there. I wonder if we even have a reason to go to the Chamber of Innocence anymore. I know the way is open, but what on earth could we ever have to go there again for? Innocence is with Bannon. I'm sure we don't need a reason to go to this chamber anymore. The false temple of worship. Not really a false temple, but kind of like a ego-stroking worship temple. That was really bad for Innocence. Innocence's mindset. Because after all, Innocence is really just a mortal that ascended to godhood. He still has his ego. As we found out from the, all that stained glass telling the story of him and Sin, his brother. And Sin, I wonder why he made that big creature in the first place. The stone creature, whatever it was that became... whatever it was. Actually, if I remember correctly, it was a stone creature that, upon being destroyed... Ew, look at what they did to this court. Kind of spread all the ash and kind of polluted everybody and turned them into whatever the corruption stuff was that has been prevailing in Ray class and was Malachi's prevailing power and nightmare and corruption. And it all came together. They kind of melded together to become the beast in some fashion. That's as far as I remember the interpretation going. But yeah, other than all this walking and talking, I'm just grabbing waypoints. It's very easy to grab all the waypoints here in this act. Because the central square kind of leads to all of them. All kind of right off the edges of the square. Just gotta follow the right-hand wall. And you get them all. Squares don't make for very good mazes. Not unless you make a lot of lines in between the squares. Squares lines. Have you seen those videos on YouTube with the, like the puzzles that people are putting water into? Like, the titles of the videos are like, can water solve a maze? They're pretty awesome. They look so cool. And here are the desecrated chambers. It's not the same if no one's here to tell you what in damnation have you done. But yeah, with all the waypoints picked up, let us head back to town and talk to everybody again. See what anyone has to say about what to do now.
Well met.
Divinia?
Yes?
No. Sin? No.
Good to
Bannon.
see you made it back. You look
You
at
too,
me
buddy.
with suspicious eyes. Yes.
Yes. I am quite
You have your
suspicious.
apprehensions about me, and my new indwelling spirit. But if it helps a little, I feel innocence stirring inside me, awakening with an odd sense of gratitude towards you. It was, after all, your bite that returned him to humility, allowed the scales
humility,
to drop from his
of
eyes.
course.
If you are to
Good.
go wandering the city in its current state, be careful where you step. Kitava's cultists are constantly on the prowl, actively seeking food for their god. What's worse, the passage to Kitava's feast is blocked off by two large black gates. We call them Kitava's horns, and they are utterly impenetrable to the motions of man. There is but one way in which we can reach Kitava and deprive him of his eternal meal. The staff of Avarius lies somewhere amongst the rubble of the Chamber of Innocence, still billowing with holy power. If you were to find it and return it to me, I believe the power in the staff will act as power enough to break through the horned gates.
So that's why we must return to the Chamber of Innocence, now desecrated by the Kitava's cultists.
I heard those cultists' mad gibberings. Their words were akin to that of the Ray-classed cannibals. Nonsensical sentences, accompanied by the most unsettling of cackles. I fear that they have indulged too deeply into Kitava's famed habit, and caught the laughing plague, that so often accompanies
Ugh.
men and women who choose to engage in the consumption of human flesh.
Oh, that's sickening. They're picking
As
up
I'm sure
scraps
you've
from
noticed,
Kitava's
that
meal.
damnable god
Eating.
Kitava no longer resides on the rooftops, as last you were here. No, the
Yeah.
monster has
We found you.
acclimatized himself to Theopolis. He has set up quite the banqueting table for himself. It appears he believes he has a lot of consumption to catch up on. Best I can tell, his new residence lies through the ravaged Oriath Square and past the canals, now the feeding troughs. Heed my warning, friend. Tread lightly through that area, for those cultists are out and about once more, actively seeking food for Kitava to devour.
They have to be running out of
I don't blame you
sustenance
for
by
being
now.
curious about the god now dwelling within me. In truth, I'm honored to have been chosen to be Innocence's vessel. You may hear this
interesting.
and think I sound like a pious Templar fool, but it is hard to remain an unbeliever when the gods walk around you, and indeed one
Yeah, that is
sleeps
hard.
inside you. No need to fear.
As an
however.
avatar, yeah, that's a little hard
Our
to,
poor
just to
purity
believe.
god surely regrets the actions of his past. I can't see
Huh.
him, but I can feel his spirit, wounded and cowering somewhere inside me. At night, I hear him whimpering over his wounds. I must say, you hurt him good. But as much as
Yeah.
I feel his pain, I also feel a budding newness in his heart. He is growing again, and relearning the compassion for humanity that he had long since lost.
Aw, good for him,
The
I
Chamber
guess.
of Innocence is exactly where you left it, though cultists and vandals
Yeah, we
may
found
have
it.
their way with it since last you visited. Innocence
Yeah, we
himself
kinda heard.
no longer cares for the place. In fact,
Good.
I feel a pained revulsion for it, hence why I cannot go
Very
myself. But I'm certain you are more than capable of forging a path through that broken temple once again.
And we're the ones that
Back when
broke it.
The cultists took control of the city. The very ground itself shook, as if pained by some dark abomination. The gnarled horns of Kitava erupted from the earth, like spiraling pillars of corruption, weaving together a barrier impeding travelers from moving through the city.
Weird.
Innocent than it is, as I feel.
Sin, you seem to have something new to
Kitava's
say.
strength has grown insurmountable in our absence, and his horns now deny us entry to his feeding trough. Evidently, the hungry god has grown picky about what crumbs now travel towards his burgeoning throat. It is
Really,
his
he's being
strength
picky.
that concerns me. I have spoken with our friend Bannon over there, a willful vessel of my misguided brother. I knew eventually we would need to enlist my brother's services, though I had hoped we need not do so this soon. Yet, it seems...
Really, how can
that
they
we
help?
have no other choice. We must invoke my dormant brother, slumbering within Bannon's frame. Kitava's horns are a thing of great corruption, which only Innocence's purity can dispel.
Oh, okay.
Before we proceed, I feel
And I guess
must
that's-
confide something in you.
What?
Bannon wishes me not to speak of it, as he is willing for the sacrifice. However, I
What?
feel you should know. Once we invoke Innocence, once we dredge him up from his cocoon inside the soul of Bannon, the man shall cease to be. Only the god
Oh
shall remain.
no!
Do you understand what I say, Exile? If we take this path, Bannon will die. Excruciatingly so. Burnt with purity
Ugh.
from the inside out. As I said, Bannon is willing to commit his life to this cause. But perhaps you should say your farewells before we move past the point of no return.
Oh no! We're gonna lose Bannon!
Interesting.
I got.
Bannon
I guess
is
that's why he's
alive
not the
and
shopkeeper for
well.
this,
In no small way, thanks to you, I would be willing to guess.
Oh no, he hasn't told Lily.
Without him being here, I would have lost my sanity or my life a long time ago. Take this gift as a token of both our appreciation.
Well, of course, Lonnie. Oh, flasks.
Now that you
Ugh.
have returned, and we have managed to sturdy ourselves once more abreast this mighty ship, I ask of you one more favor. Find that traitor Violenta
Yeah.
and kill her. Though
Maybe
I wish
we
to
will.
see her dead as revenge for her insurrection, Violenta has become something far worse under the radiation of Kitava's gaze. She must be stopped.
Really? Worse than a traitor? What could she
Remember,
possibly be now?
We do this for freedom.
Now that the Brine King is nothing but crab meat, his sunken domain, the ancient city of Soartha is ripe for the plundering. My granddaddy once dedicated a good portion of his sailing life trying to hunt down the location of that monolithic city. Then, while he were otherwise indisposed, yours truly tried to follow in his gnarled footsteps, track down the teardrop, a pearl as big as your head,
A teardrop?
carved with the clues to the city's subaquatic location. I
Ooh, this sounds cool.
Close to completing my grandfather's legacy when those damn Templar privateers raided me ship and took off with the teardrop, threw it in their reliquary here in Theopolis. As it were, now's the perfect time to retrieve that dazzling pearl. Think you can nab it?
Well, maybe it is.
I'll make it worth your while. Maybe tick it off the list of things you owe me.
Maybe I will. What about this
Soartha?
Soartha?
Knows of Soartha. They call it a city, but more of a slaughterhouse than anything else. Old Salty himself ruled over the place, treating its citizens as morsels from his own personal pantry. Those
Sounds just like Tav over here.
Were picked to try continuous family line. They became fishwives like that pretty young Nessa near ended up being. Well, the Brine King, you know, was forced into a slumber beneath the ocean, and the city was said to have joined him there as well. A few folk managed to flee from the collapsing coral shards, start new lives for themselves, but I'll be reckoning they left all their valuables behind.
Yeah, that wouldn't be shocking. A lot of people do leave valuables behind in times of trouble like that.
But them privateers took the teardrop, threw it in the reliquary, then took yours truly and threw me in those goddamn slave pens. Far as I can tell, they never did work out what the teardrop was for.
You're kidding
me, I suppose. It was tough, but with the help of a few other undesirables, I managed to find me way out of them pens and into the reliquary. Made an attempt to burgle back what was burgled from me. Boy, did we sure underestimate the size of them guards the Templars had on the place. Only I managed to escape unscathed. My accomplices weren't to be so lucky, and they ended up in Ray-classed, much like yourself. Fact, I believe you may have crossed paths. Creighton? Elira?
You're kidding me. Those three? You worked with those three? Jeez, you're lucky to be alive, girl.
Time when the ladies would be begging for a bit of old Whalem. But I ain't felt the warm caress of a woman in a long time, and it wounded me dreadful. During me time on the sea, I heard tale of Queen Exile and her penchant for using this land as a kind of vote for all her special shinies.
What, this island?
Shiny be her famed love potion, supposed to attract the drinker's ideal mate to their
potion number 9.
Mate be far across the sea. Old Queen Exile kept the liquid in the skull of her favorite lover. Them damn Templars probably got their hands on it by now, and the potion's bizarre container has me thinking they probably went and tossed it into the ossuary along with the rest of the bones they got lying around. Exile, be you the friend I believe you to be, then find a potion for me so that I can experience true love once more.
You horny old sea dog. Well, it's been 40 minutes today. We picked up all the waypoints. Hey, we've almost leveled up. Maybe I'll pick up that level up before the next episode and level up next time. And I hope you all have a good day today. Take care of yourselves and have fun. Bye-bye, everyone.